Thank you so much to Jeff and Jennifer. I think we're about ready to start our service, yes? Well, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach to you all. It's wonderful to see so many faces on our Zoom as we try something a little different tonight in celebration of our holiday. And would like to especially thank Jeff and Jennifer Wolfeld of Klesmore Square, who are going to be joining the festivities tonight. And I'd like to invite you all to go get your Chanukiah if you haven't gotten it ready. And we'll hear some more music to get us in the mood while you go get your candles and your Chanukiot. We'll hear a little more music and then we'll light the candles together. Thank you so much, Jeff and Jennifer. Chag Urim Sameach. I hope everyone has gotten a chance to get your candles and Chanukiot ready. And we will sing the blessings, which I think you can see. If you go to speaker view, you can find it big enough to read. And together we will light our Chanukiot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavoteinu, vayamim hahem, bazman hazeh. And we haven't totally gotten into the mood yet. We got to do some singing. Cantor Spall, take it away.
Here we go. Ma'otzur Yeshuati Nechana Erev Shabbat Tikun page Tevilati Mishom Todah Nizabeach Ve'etovi Nabeach Mitzor Hamnabeach Hazek Mor B'Shir Mizmor Hanukat HaMizbeach Hazek Mor B'Shir Mizmor Hanukat HaMizbeach Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Glories they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. All right, we're going to go right into my second favorite. It's called Mi Imalel. Also, who can retell? It goes like this. Mi Imalel Gvurot Yisrael Otani Mehem Bechol Yakum Gibor Goel Am. Mi Imalel Gvurot Yisrael Otani Mehem Bechol Yakum Gibor Goel Am. Shema בימים ההם בזמן הזה מכבי מושיע ופודה ובימינו כל עם ישראל יתאחד יקום להיגאל. Oh, who can we tell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to our aid. Hark! In days of yore in Israel's ancient land, brave Maccabeus braved his faithful band. And now all Israel must as one arise, redeem itself through deed and sacrifice. Hebrew or English? Mi Imalel Gvurot Yisrael Otani Mehem Bechol Dor Yakum HaGibor Goel Ha'am.
All right. We are in the mood to celebrate, but we also need to welcome in Shabbat. Hey, Sam, how's it going? So we will light our Shabbat candles. And if you need the blessing, it's in our prayer book on page 2 or page 120, depending on the version of the prayer book that you have. Let's light our candles.
No, we're not going to light the candles. Okay. I'd rather you didn't.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to join together in Kiddush, which can be found on page 5 of your prayer book, and we lift up our glasses of joy and we sing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh Zeicher l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen l'chaim.
We'll sing the words of the Baruch Hu, our opening prayer of our worship this evening. If you'd like to and you're able, I invite you to rise. If you're happy on your couch or at your dinner table, that's fine too. The words of the Baruch Hu are on page 28 of the Siddur. We know this is the darkest time of year, and we know that one of the calls of Hanukkah is to bring light into dark places. But I was thinking, in the Jewish calendar, since we're a lunar calendar, we're actually at the darkest time of the darkest time. Rosh Chodesh Tevet, the new moon of the next month, starts just on the December 15th this year. So if you look outside, the moon is getting as narrow as it can be. And we have a call to help illumine the lights. And we'll sing together the words of Roll into Dark. We have a slide that we'll show for you as well.
We join together in the words of Shema Yisrael, page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
The words of Rabbi David Hartman. In considering the miracle of the cruse of oil, our rabbis asked why the holiday of Hanukkah was celebrated for 8 days rather than for 7 days. Since there was, by all accounts, sufficient oil for 1 day, only 7 of the 8 days of burning may be designated as miraculous days. Though several ingenious explanations were offered, what strikes me as being the miraculous feature of the initial day was the community's willingness to light, in spite of the fact that its anticipated period of burning was short-lived. The miracle of the first day was expressed in the community's willingness to light a small cruse of oil without reasonable assurance that their efforts would be sufficient to complete the rededication of the temple. Hanukkah celebrates the miracle expressed by those who lit the lamp, and not only the miracle of the lamp's continued burning for 8 days.
We join together in the words of Mi Chamocha that can be found on page 40, 158 as well in the bigger book. We're going to use the melody of Ma'ot Sur for Mi Chamocha today. Look carefully at the words Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, and you might find a hidden secret about Chanukah in those first letters of those first 4 words. Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha betar b'kodesh, norati lot, osef eleh, norati lot, osef
On page 42, page 160 in the big version, we turn to our prayer for the evening, our prayer that acknowledges that there is even darkness in the world that we can't always get enough light into, and that we shouldn't fear, that we should know a sense of peace, that we should know that God is with us, that we should know that perhaps those places or people in whom we find shelter are nearby, even if they're far away. And so we'll sing the words of Hashkivenu, asking God to lay us down in peace and help us to wake up in the morning to a sense of life renewed. Page 42 or 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
In a moment, we'll begin the Amidah together, our central portion of our worship this evening. And I want to point out that because tonight is Hanukkah, when we get to our prayer of gratitude, the Hoda'ah, which is begins on page 58 or 176, there's a special insertion for Hanukkah, giving thanks for the miracle of our history and for the fact that we are still here and that every year we celebrate with joy and gladness and lots of light. So something to look for in your prayer book this evening as we enter into the Amidah. We'll sing the opening meditation together on page 46 or 164.
We continue silently. So this is a beautiful Hanukkah song written by Josh Nelson. It's called In These Lights. And I've magically conjured Russell Norman to help in this one. So just give me a second to get him going. In the days when we were broken, In these lights, we are reflected. In these lights, we are protected by these lights. There are miracles to find here in these
We turn now to our prayer for healing, the Misha Berach on page 253 or 371. In particular, this Shabbat, our community is thinking of Mason Easley, Dale Prinstein, and Maureen Roskoff. I invite you to call the names of those in need of a prayer for healing of body or spirit, of mind or heart or soul. Perhaps those battling with mental illness or those battling addiction. We offer this prayer for healing and strength. The Misha Berach. I also invite you to call out or place in the chat the names of those that you're thinking about this evening. Page 253.
Okay, we're in for a treat because we've conjured up the junior choir, the Zimriah, to lead us in two of our favorite Hanukkah songs. They are O Hanukkah, and also one called Ocho Candelitas. The first one, O Hanukkah, I think you're going to recognize the English, and you could sing along with that. And then the choir sings it in Yiddish, and I think you might be able to sing along with them. And then Ocho Candelitas is a song that uses another Jewish language called Ladino. It was written by Flori Jagoda, and it's a beautiful song about the 8 candles, the 8 lights of Hanukkah.
I just love that, Cantor Spall. Amazing, amazing work with our junior choir with Zimriah. Some cantors are talented, and some cantors have kids under 8 singing in Yiddish and Ladino. So I think, to be able to, you should have seen in my house trying to get our 3 almost 4-year-olds singing in Yiddish and Ladino. But we definitely got the Candelitas, and we had a lot of fun making the video. Cantor, thanks for bringing that light to our Hanukkah. It's so wonderful to see our junior choirs in Maria. I can't wait to have them back in person next Hanukkah, singing loudly and in, who knows, maybe a different language if you really want to challenge us. So
next year, French.
So we're going to try something really fun. We want to, especially if you're on the Zoom, if you're streaming on YouTube or on the Beth Am streaming page, no problem. We want you to engage as well. But we've got a series of questions, and these are tough questions. They're going to be posed by some members of the Beth Am clergy. And we'd love you to utilize the chat or think deep, dark into your mind. And we'll start easy. But here is the first question for this Hanukkah. What is the strangest place you have ever played dreidel? So put in the chat, what is the strangest place you have ever played dreidel? Cantor, did you spin the dreidel on in Chile in the middle of an astronomy lesson or something like that?
I guess we did spin the dreidel in Chile. I did once spin it at a poker table in Texas.
Wait a minute. A congregate Lori Hope has spun a dreidel on a submarine? My goodness.
Wow.
That might take the cake, so to speak, or the latke.
The gelt.
The gelt, thank you.
The gelt. So yeah.
Oh, did you say latka? We'll get there in a second.
Yes, for sure.
All right, Cantor, let's sing our special song.
Kids out there who want to spin like their own dreidels, you can go ahead and spin. Here we go. Sivivon, Sov, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, Sov, 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 Hag Simcha Ulam, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Hag Simcha Ulam. Sivivon, Sov, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, Sov, 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 Hag Simcha Ulam, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Hag Simcha Ulam.
So in Jewish tradition, we are a people that sometimes disagrees with each other. There are sometimes some arguments, some debating. It's sort of the spirit of Jewish tradition. Now, perhaps one of the greatest debates, one of the most consequential debates, one of the most profound and deeply moving debates in Jewish history is not, you might be thinking, Hillel, Shammai. No. The big debate, the great debate in Judaism, I think, is latkes versus homentashen. So in the chat, now you could just write, the passing grade here is to just write your choice, latka or homentashen. But really, for the extra credit points, give us a well-reasoned argument for why latkes or why homentashen. All right, put it in the chat. All right, jalapeno latkes. That sounds delicious, Martin. Okay, we've got a vote for homentashen. Right. I think the debate actually does have origins at Stanford because, when you're debating big things, eventually you're going to end up debating latkes versus homentashen. We have a lot of votes for latkes. Maybe it's just the season. I wonder if we asked this question around Purim, if you would vote differently.
I like the idea of wrapping a hamantashen in a latke and then maybe deep frying it.
What about a latke shaped like a homentashen filled with something? Like it could be like an applesauce or sour cream delivery system.
Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of latkes, Cantor, do we have a song about latkes?
Yes, this is a 3-part one, so pick a part. They all go together. I think this comes from an old klezmer song. It goes like this. Lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots. Let's all eat 'em up. Lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots. Let's all eat 'em up. Sivi von sov sov, 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 sivi von sov sov. Oh, Maccabi, 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 Mac. Lots of latkes, lots of latkes, All right, we are going to continue with a fantastic song. So this has a little bit of history because this song was written with love for our own. It was premiered by our very own Zimriah Choir and written by our wonderful member Lauren Ford. And so since we couldn't have the Zimriah all sing together from their houses, they're going to sing now on mute while Lauren has agreed to play and sing for us this beautiful version of Banu Choshech Legaresh.
Banu Choshech Legaresh בידינו אור ואש כל אחד הוא אור קטן וכולנו אור איתן זור החושך על השחור זורה מפני האור זורה מפני האור We have come to banish night holding fire and light in our hands, and though each flame is small, together our light is strong. Vanish the darkness and drive out the night with all of the light in your heart. Fight for the light. Banu Choshech Legaresh בידינו אור ואש כל אחד הוא אור קטן וכולנו אור איתן. כולנו אור איתן.
Thank you so much, Lauren. From the sublime to the ridiculous, we go. But first, we have one more question, which is, I'm serious about this one. I really need to know. Secrets to making the perfect latke. Go.
I know this.
I'll say it one more time because I know everyone was still, transitioning from the beautiful music. All right. Use your dad's latke recipe. Ask your wife to do it. Nice, nice. All right, good. We're getting some excellent tips on how to make the perfect latkes. Everyone's saying squeeze out the juice. That is very important tip. Very nice. Use the Forest Feast cookbook. A very nice tip. All right, we're getting a lot of good. People have a lot of tips here. This is excellent. All right, so keep them coming. And while you're contemplating how to make the perfect latke, my favorite Hanukkah song as a child, Take It Away, Cantor Spall.
Oh my gosh, really? It's very serious. Okay, everybody, are you ready? This is such a serious song. So you have to kind of stand like this for the beginning of it. Okay, so if I get really. Yeah, come stand next to me. I am so mixed up that I cannot tell you. I'm sitting in this blender turning brown. I've made friends with the onions and the flour, and the cook is scouting oil in the town. I sit here wondering what will come of me. I can't be eaten looking as I do. I need someone to take me out and cook me, or I'll really end up in a royal stew. I am a latke, I am a latke, and I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. I am a latke, I am a latke, and I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. Every holiday has food so special. I'd like to have that same attention too. I do not want to spend life in this blender, wondering what I'm supposed to do. Oh, this is good. Matzah and charoset are for Pesach. Chopped liver and challah for Shabbat. Blintzes on Shavuot are delicious, and gefilte fish, no holidays without. I am a latke, I am a latke, and I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. I am a latke, I am a latke, and I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. Oh, that was good.
Thank you so much, Cantor. It's a delight. It's a delight. In a moment, we'll sing Debbie Friedman's take on this well-known verse from Zechariah. Lo v'chayil v'lo v'choach ki im bruchi amar Adonai tzevaot. Not by might, not by power, but only by my spirit, says Adonai of hosts. These words likely date to a time that in some ways bore similarities to our circumstances, originating in a period of restoration, of reformulation. Zechariah's prophecy anticipates the rebuilding of the temple 70 years or so after its destruction and after the exile of the Judeans to Babylonia. And the questions that fueled Zechariah's prophetic activity are questions with which we grapple during this pandemic. How do we do Judaism during this crisis? How are we reconstituting our community during this dark and difficult time? And when this period of crisis is over, how will our communal practices be in continuation of the past? And how will they be different? As you know, it is in the Talmud where we read a story of the origins of Hanukkah, that story of the discovery in the temple of a single cruse of oil, enough for one day's lighting, but spoiler alert, it actually lasted for 8 days. In consideration of this miracle that serves as the origin of our practice of lighting the Chanukiah, and to continue the teaching that Rabbi Prosnit introduced earlier in our service, Rabbi David Hartman wrote, "The miracle of the first day was expressed in the community's willingness to light a small cruse of oil without reasonable assurance that their efforts would be sufficient to complete the rededication of the temple. The miracle of Jewish spiritual survival may best be described by our people's strength to live without guarantees of success and to focus on how to begin a process without knowledge of how it would end. The Hanukkah lights encourage one to trust human beginnings and to focus one's passion and efforts on whatever opportunities are available at the present moment. The strength to continue and to persevere grows by virtue of the courage to initiate a process by lighting the first flame. From the beginning of this pandemic, our community's orientation to this crisis has been, let's see what we can make of this. We've consistently adopted the orientation to Jewish life that Hartman imagined, that the rabbis of the Talmud imagined, characterized the Maccabees. Let's light this one candle, this one cruse of oil, and see where this takes us. We might not quite know where we are going, how things will end up, but no matter, let's start creating. By the way, we are particularly good at this. Adapting Judaism to present circumstances is what we Reform Jews do. We are taught, Lefarsume Nisa, to proclaim the miracle of Chanukah by placing the menorah in a window of our home so that it can be seen by all who pass by. So on this night, during this long darkness of a pandemic, during this unprecedented period in all of our lives, we have great cause to celebrate a miracle and to proclaim our creativity, our adaptability, our capacity to create together an abundance of light, even in the darkest of times.
All right. Not by might, not by power. It has some cool claps. Clap along with the beginning. Here we go. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1.
We continue now with the Aleinu on page 282, and it too ends with a verse from Zechariah. The last verse of the Aleinu is this statement from Zechariah that imagines a time of, as the cantor just said, of peace, of wholeness, and of ingathering. So let's rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ברית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המועם. ואנחנו קוראים
ומשתחווים
לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. In a moment, we'll turn to the Kaddish, which is on page 294 or on page 598. And this setting is by Billy Collins. It's entitled No Time. In a rush this weekday morning, I tap the horn as I speed past the cemetery where my parents are buried, side by side beneath a slab of smooth granite. Then, all day, I think of him rising up to give me that look of knowing disapproval, while my mother calmly tells him to lie back down. We remember at this time those of our community and of its families who have died during the past week. Jeff Lyon, uncle of Gabe Lyon. Joyce Wertman, Bethom founding member and mother of our member Larry Wertman, Elena McCarty, and Teresa Wertman, and grandmother of Laura McCartney, Amanda McCartney, and Tolly Oliver Wertman. We add to their names the names of those who have died during the past month and whose families observe Shloshim, the traditional 30-day period of mourning. Irene Rothstein, Jack Hagerup, Leanne Kirshner, John Sturp, Norman Rawson, Larry Burdow, Paul Detkin, Joseph Patrick James Daly, Holly Margulis. And we remembered too at this time those for whom we are observing Yahrzeit this week. Herbert Bauer, Alexander Bernhardt, Eva Blank, George Bozakoy, Anna Bricko, Gordon Alexander Brookstone, Blanche Cohen, Robert Kahn, Richard Kopikin, Sarah Davis, Rose Pinsker Davis, Linda Darahian, Lena Droyanov, Grace Eckert, Abraham Etten, Ethel Rosenblum Feldman, Moisey Finkelstein, Carol Flaxman, Anthea Frankel, Dorothea Gainen, Carol Gerstein, Henry Golden, Samuel Goodman, Emil Gordon, Gregory Grack, Bella Gutman, Howard Marshall Holtzman, Jerry Kay, Nechuma Koyachtina, Robert Kirkwood, Harold Claridge, Harvey Koch, Roman Korsunsky, Lev Kunin, Barbara Lambden, Arnold Lawrence, Ted Lerman, Zaida Levy, Marcia Lertzman, Jeff Lyon, Aaron Mankin, Arthur Marmer, Brandon Marshall, Noel Mateo, Esther Masner, Patricia Müller-Crosskopf, Samuel J. Moss, Lottie Mueller, Solomon Munvez, Walter Niemasik, Deanna Oberman, Lena Orshinskaya, Bernice Ortenberg, Rosa Ozdoba, Jack Posner, Joseph Ross, Israel Rubin, Shlomo Sadoff, Randy Schultz, Irving Schwartz, Yetta Seidman, Marjorie Settle, Riva Shoykit, Yechiel Schulman, Stephen Spector, Irene Stolman, Evelyn Tannenberg, Lillian Volper, Arlene Weisbrod, Leon Wanger, Molly White, and Cedric Zweig. If there are other names that you have in your heart and you are remembering on this day, I invite you to place them into the chat at this time. Zichronam Livracha, may their memory be for a blessing. We rise now for Kaddish Yotom. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechot beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'yimeru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam alamei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'alma v'yimeru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen.
Oh, say shalom Imrama, Huya say shalom Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen.
Please be seated. We continue this month on this Shabbat and every week this month to collect tzedakah for Learning Home Volunteers, a nonprofit organization working to address the kindergarten readiness gap by providing weekly in-home tutoring to preschool-aged children. It's a wonderful organization, and you can learn more about it by going to our website. We're, of course, seeking financial contributions, financial support for Learning Home Volunteers, but there are also other ways to engage with the organization. I was mistaken last week to say that you could volunteer to do some Zoom tutoring. What I've learned is they don't have that opportunity right now, but what you can do is create some learning kits that will be delivered to the homes of these kids. And there are a variety of ways to become engaged. So if this is of interest to you, I urge you to visit their website. Also, we are continuing, of course, the foyer or the foyer. I like that we always say that. We always say, is it the foyer or the foyer? You choose. And which will begin immediately after this service. You don't have to go anywhere. You can use this link. Just stay right on Zoom, and we'll be breaking into rooms, breakout rooms during the foyer, which will give us time to share some memories of Hanukkah and just to be with each other. So I hope that you'll join us there. So we continue now with Al Hanisim, and I'm just going to run over to my dining room to be with my family for Motzi. So I'll see you in a moment. Go ahead.
Ayamim golden chocolate. Very nice, Ezra. Very nice. There it is. All right, are we ready for hamotzi? Let's see. Oh my gosh, I have a really cool challah that I want to show off. Check this out, y'all. Check that out. Oh my God. Whoa. Whoa.
How did you do that?
Marcel made that this afternoon. It's a Hanukkah challah.
Holy cow.
Oh my God, Marcel, you win.
You win. Marcel just won Hanukkah.
Yay! All right, who's leading this challah? You got that one? Shall we do it together?
Do it.
Ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. I'm gonna take the Shema. Okay, we'll do it together. I'm taking the Shema.
Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy Hanukkah! How do you make French toast out of that, Cantor?
I don't know.
I just hope you took a picture before you started.
Bye, everyone. Okay, let me get my.
Bye, everybody.
You guys.
Shabbat
Bye,
shalom.
everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom. Take care.
Stick around for the foyer.
I couldn't.
Happy Hanukkah.
I couldn't get on over there. Anyway,
Oh no.
you know, like I couldn't unmute Molly
Oh.
on her computer. So sorry to leave you in the lurch.
Okay, because Marcel surprised us with a challah, menorah, a Hanukkah shaped challah.
That's
It's
amazing.
It is amazing. Who's hosting the foyer tonight?
So
Uh,
I'm hosting, but I'm waiting for host permissions to be given to me so I can start making breakouts.
And
Awesome. Thank you,
I'm
Taylor.
co-host with Taylor.
Amy's
And-
Amy's
yes,
actually the
thank
host,
you.
and I'm just the tech lord.
No.
And Rabbi Morrison, thank you for making it clear that our tradition is to disagree whether it's the foyer or the foyer.
The next great debate, perhaps.
Sure.
Right, whether it's latkes or Chomentashen.
That began at U Chicago. FYI.
We
Laura-
believe that the great debate is between applesauce and sour cream.
Yeah.
I agree,
Also-
Dana.
also a good one.
I agree, Dana. Where do you come down, Dana?
I'm a sour cream guy. Susan is definitely
You, Susan.
It can't be both.
I think it's both. Yes, I think so.
You just have two of them. One of each.
I'm frozen up here.
Amy, I now have the ability to do breakouts. So to give the prompt, I can get one on top.
Oh, should I put it in the chat? Okay, so what we were thinking tonight would be think about Hanukkah, and in these dark times, what brings you light in your life? I'll put it in the chat.
Great. I'm gonna send it. Sorry for the echo. I'm gonna figure out what that is about.
Hopefully it'll go away in the chat.
Rachel, it's still streaming on YouTube. Okay. As long as you know, I just wasn't sure. I just wanted to remind you. I'm sure you're on top of it. Taylor, I miss you.
I miss you.
You're so far away now that we only talked on the screen anyways. But
I know. I miss you guys, but I'm back. I'm
Hello.
actually like settled now, so I can like actually be a human again.
Good.
I'm signing off. I've got another Shabbat thing. So
Okay, go.
Bye.
Taylor, thank you so much. I think my family's been waiting for me to light Hanukkah candles. So
Your
I'm gonna
digs
go.
are pretty
You
awesome.
got this? You good?
Yeah. Love your digs. Have a great
It
night.
also sort of like worked out in this very serendipitous way that
It looks pretty amazing. Well done.
Thank you so much for hosting tonight, and I'll see you later.
Yep.
All right.
See you in a bit.
Bye.
I'm not. I just got a message from Rachel Gibson saying we're live on Facebook.
Yes, I'm trying to stop the stream.
Okay, I didn't know.
It has to be done manually. Sorry about that.
No, don't apologize. I'll let her know.
Yeah, we're working on it.
This is my baby girl. She's sleeping right now. She's kind of a grunty girl when she sleeps. She moves around and makes a lot of noise. She makes a noise for you. She's unimpressed with my video.
Still working on it.
Hi, Ron. I'm going to move you into a group so that you can join the conversation. I can't hear you. I think you might be muted. I'm so sorry.
There we go.
There you
Okay,
go.
we're unmuted. Okay.
So I'm going to
Not
send
usually doing this.
It's okay.
Chuck,
I'm
can
going
you
to send
turn
you
that
into a group
on the
so
other
that
one?
you can join the conversation. Hey, Michelle, do you want to join a group as well? Yeah, great.
Taylor,
Yes.
I think because you're the host, you might need to stop it from Zoom. So do you see the three buttons at the bottom? The more
Yep.
button? There